Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Well, as you can see, we're still in the house. We've been having about 2 weeks. We're going on 3 weeks of a heat wave that has been well over 100 degrees. Most days, I think we've gotten up to 114, and most days are like between 109 and 111. And you go outside, and it's so hot it just takes your breath away. Poor Mr. Brody with all his hair. He doesn't even want to go outside and go to the bathroom. You gotta force him out the back door. He gets a breath of that hot air. He just wants to come inside and go back to sleep. But we're getting through it. So anyway, that's why we're recording in the house, because it's like an inferno out in the garage. So listen, I want to talk to you today about choices. Do you know that on a normal day in 2024, right here in America, the average person makes 35,000 choices a day. That's like tenfold what they made 100 years ago. We are constantly bombarded with things around us where we have to make choices. But 35,000 choices a day, no wonder I'm always brain tired. So anyway, listen. Joshua 25:15 says, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods of your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the God of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." So listen, these people in Israel, they were on a fence. They didn't know what they wanted to do. Some of them did this, some of them did that, and Joshua was getting tired of it. And finally he said, look, you figure out who you're going to serve. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. You know, right now, we are living in the last of the last days. And this is not the time for you to be on the fence. This is not the time for you to still be worldly. This is the time for you to be doing what the Lord has called you to do. 1 Corinthians 15:33 says, "Do not be deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners." You know, I see Christians all the time post things on Facebook, and it makes me shake my head. And I go, "They're Christians." And I go, how can you post something like that? Are you kidding me? And they do it. Evil communications corrupt good manners. How are the words that pass through your mouth, the things you say, are they godly or are they worldly? The things that you post, are they godly or are they worldly? Are you godly or are you worldly? That's what Joshua was asking the people of Israel. What are you doing? What are you doing? Matthew 12:37 says, "For by the words of your mouth you will be justified, and by the words of your mouth you will be condemned." This is what I want to know. Where do you stand? Where do you stand? First Peter 3:15. Peter asks us, just like Joshua asked the children of Israel, Peter asks us, "Sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you of the reason of the hope that is within you, with meekness and fear." Do you stand out? Do you stand out? Do all your friends, all your family, everyone in your neighborhood, everyone at your job, do they all know that you're a Christian? Do they know it? Do people avoid you Because if you're a Christian, people are going to avoid you. I have neighbors that avoid me all the time. My name is on the wall over there at the Kingdom Hall, which is a couple blocks away. And these people, they come walking down my street. They'll stop at every house. They'll walk right by mine. They don't even stop. People avoid me. Do you fit in? Do you fit in just with everybody else? You know, some people, I've had people tell me over the years, yeah, I'm a Christian. And my jaw drops. I'm like, what? I mean, I have people tell me that they're a Christian, and yet they cheat on their wife. They do things that you're like, no, I don't think so. You need to reevaluate. And then there's some people who are what I call James Bond Christians, the old 007. These people are so undercover that no one knows they're a Christian. Some of them have been undercover so long that even God doesn't know they're a Christian. Where do you stand? People, we're in the end of the end days, and you need to be about the Lord's work, doing exactly what the Lord wants you to do. And if you can sit there and say, well, I'm not doing anything. People, listen, your neighborhood, where you live right now, your neighborhood is your mission field. Your place of employment is your mission field. In Corinthians 10:15, he says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. How's your thought life? How's your thought life? Does it just run away with evil thoughts and you just dwell on them all day, fantasies? Are you in a constant battle over your thought life? Because if you're in a constant battle over your thought life, that's a good thing. If your thought life bothers you, that's a good thing. We're in the final days, and it's time to stand firm. Remember about 5 or 6 videos back, I told you about that word shod, where Paul says we're to have our feet shod with the preparation of the gospel. That's a military term, and what it actually means is you're going to stand there with your feet planted in the ground, and you're not going to give an inch. And what we're going to do is we are going to defend this gospel, and we're not going to give an inch, not 1 inch. You know, every time I see something on Facebook that talks about, men becoming women or women becoming men, I never let that go by. I'll always put down, I'll say men can't become women and women can't become men. Whenever I'm anywhere and people talk about that, bring it up, I'll say you're nuts. Men can't become women and women can't become men. Our DNA is different. God created us male and female. Whenever anybody says anything and I can inject the Bible into that conversation, I will do it. We're to stand firm, we're to defend the gospel and not give an inch. And that doesn't make you very popular. People, listen. We are living in the last of the last days. This is not the time to give an inch. This is the time to stand firm and proclaim the gospel. Because that's what we're called to do. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Just remember, heaven or hell, you get to choose. But just remember, once you take your last breath,